Welcome to the YouTube channel, Intipdunia. What else are we going to discuss today? Okay, let's get straight to the point. Have you ever wondered this? You just opened your food and boom, suddenly a fly appears. Where do they come from? Why do they always show up right when we're about to eat? Even though we usually just call them flies, there are actually many different kinds of these pesky insects, and they all belong to the order Diptera, which literally means two wings. These pesky insects are quite persistent when it comes to finding their way inside. One way they sneak in is through open doors or windows. If you live in an area with a lot of flies, it's not uncommon to see them buzzing around your home during the summer months. The speed at which they hatch is also worth noting. Flies are notorious for showing up the second you open your food. They're known to carry various diseases and infections that can make us sick. But how exactly do they manage to spread germs and bacteria? It turns out that these pesky insects are more complex than they may seem and play a bigger role in our lives than we might think. Now, you'll never be surprised when a fly appears on your food. Instead, you'll be armed with the knowledge to appreciate the amazing adaptations that allow them to thrive. So next time you find yourself swatting at flies, take a moment to appreciate the incredible creatures that they are and the valuable role they play in our ecosystem. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Well, it all starts with where they hang out. Flies love to land on dirty surfaces like garbage, dead animals, and feces, and they don't wash their hands afterwards. If you've ever seen a fly buzzing around your kitchen, chances are it's picked up some unwanted hitchhikers along the way. Flies can carry harmful microorganisms like E. coli and salmonella on their body, and when they land on your food, they can transfer these germs to your plate. And the worst part is that flies are pretty persistent. They won't back down even if you try to shoo them away. And that means you could be exposed to a whole host of nasty bugs and bacteria if you're not careful. So next time you see a fly buzzing around your kitchen, remember that it might be carrying more than just a few germs. And there's a very good reason for that. They're looking for a tasty treat. Flies are attracted to sweet, rotten, and meaty smells. They can be found around garbage bins, compost piles, and even pet food. So if you're enjoying a juicy burger or a sweet dessert, it's no wonder flies are eager to join you. They can smell the deliciousness from far away, and they want to resist the temptation to land on your plate. Unlike most insects, fly eggs can hatch in as little as 24 hours. That means that a new generation of flies can emerge in less than a day. It's no wonder that flies can become such a nuisance so quickly. If a single female fly lays 500 eggs, and each egg can hatch into a male or female fly, then just imagine the sheer number of flies that can emerge in a matter of days. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. When you open a door or window to let in some fresh air, it also gives flies a chance to enter your home. Once inside, they may be looking for food or a place to lay their eggs, but that's not the only way fleas make their way inside. They can also enter through tiny cracks and crevices in your home's exterior. Even a gap as small as 1 centimeter is enough for a fly to squeeze through. So it's important to check your window screens and door sweeps to make sure they're in good repair. This name makes sense. If you look at a fly, their keen sense of smell is actually much more powerful than ours. On average, a female fly can lay between 75 and 500 eggs during its lifespan, which typically ranges from 15 to 30 days. That means that a single fly can lay several batches of eggs in its short time on Earth. But wait, there's more. Depending on the species, fly eggs can hatch into male or female flies, and females tend to lay more eggs than males. In fact, some species of flies have a sex ratio skewed heavily towards females, meaning that there are many more females than males. This is likely an evolutionary adaptation that allows for faster population growth, which is advantageous for species that face frequent predators or environmental changes. While humans can smell odors within 100 meters, flies can detect scents from up to 1 kilometer away. This means that if you're cooking something delicious, flies could be on their way before you even finish preparing the meal. So how do they manage to sniff out food from so far away? Well, it all has to do with their super sensitive smell receptors. Flies have special receptors on their antennae and feet that are designed to pick up even the faintest whiff of certain chemicals. For example, they're drawn to the smell of sugar, which is why you might see them hovering around your sweet treats. Similarly, they're also attracted to the smell of decaying organic matter, which is why you might find them hanging around garbage bins. Because unlike most other insects that have 4 wings, flies only have 2. Now, you might be wondering, how many types of flies are there? Well, there are over 120,000 species of flies worldwide, but some of the most common ones that you might see around your house are house flies, fruit flies, drain flies, and cluster flies. Among them, the most common one is the housefly. Though they seem small and harmless, flies are incredibly capable. They can detect smells from far away and react to movement within milliseconds. A housefly lives about 30 days and can lay up to 500 eggs in its lifetime. Well, you're not alone. We've all been surprised, grossed out, and maybe even swatted at these uninvited guests. But have you ever thought about where flies come from and how they just know when you're about to enjoy a tasty meal? Today we are going to uncover the mysteries of these buzzing insects and learn what brings them to our kitchens. So let us dive into the fascinating world of flies and get to the bottom of this age-old question. Let's start by asking, what is a fly anyway? But if you're thinking, how long does it take for fly eggs to hatch? Well, you won't believe this. The answer will surprise you. Fly eggs are incredibly quick to hatch. In fact, depending on the species and environmental conditions, they can hatch in as little as 8 to 24 hours. Yes, you heard that right. Within a day, those tiny eggs can turn into pesky fly larvae. To put this into perspective, it takes around 21 days for a chicken egg to hatch. So flies hatch almost instantly compared to other insects. It seems almost magical how fast they can emerge from their eggs. But it's just another example of the amazing adaptability of nature. So now let's talk about how flies find their way into your house. On top of that, did you know that flies can smell food from miles away? If you're curious about how many eggs a fly can lay in its lifetime, then buckle up because the answer might surprise you. But it's not just the number of eggs that's impressive. But let's not forget the real reason we're here today. Food? Okay, so let's finally answer the question. Why are flies dangerous? Despite their small size, flies can pose serious health risks. Well, today we uncovered the mysterious world of flies and discovered the fascinating reasons behind their sudden appearances.